All right, ladies and gentlemen, Ballislife has officially spoken out in regards to the TNC, OTD, BIL, June's League, all the conversations going around the leagues, and the beef going on specifically with Ballislife in next chapter, and then OTD in the middle of that. Without further ado, let's watch and hear what one of the owners has to say, AK, about this whole thing going on.
This thing,
Hey, look, this is my first time ever showing my face on the internet. Just coming out of behind the scene. I'm always
My thing is, why now though? Honest question, why now?
behind the scenes, but I felt like it's about time. And what better platform than yours?
Damn. Okay, so we must have some things going on tonight. Check, go ahead, hit that like button for you, boy. AK in the building. We got Ballislife in the building. My first question is always the same question for everyone.
Let's get to it, B.
I think we should just dive right into it, man.
Yes.
What is going on, man? What is the state of the community like? Like, last night was insane to me. The night before last, what OTD posted, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Can you explain to me what's going on?
Yeah, so I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure a lot of people have seen. We're having this 1v1 tournament, and the players are all flying in tomorrow. And about Cam, Burke, Day, who are all next chapter players, were a part of it. And this had been kind of locked in and planned since the beginning of February. So I was, Sunday I texted all the players, you guys all good? You've been to Ballislife events before, so you get the itinerary and make sure you're all set. And everyone was set. And then it was either Monday or Tuesday morning, a third party, like not anyone from the next chapter, not any of the players, I woke up and I already had like 2 missed calls and a text from this person saying like, hey, just a heads up, like,
I think we can kind of guess who the person is.
You're gonna get a call today, and like, just be ready for it. And I was like, I can't call this person. I'm like, why is this so cryptic? I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they said like I want to give these guys an opportunity to tell you themselves, but they kind of alluded to the fact that like the 3 next chapter guys will not be coming to the tournament. So I'm like, okay. And knowing this information and kind of having to sit on it is hard. So I'm like, the day's going by and I'm like, okay, like when's somebody gonna hit me up?
And I think that's the problem though, but that's not to blame like an owner of a company, in my personal opinion, because it's like, if I go outside of my manager per se, right, and I go get a deal, and then my manager's like, oh no, that's conflicting with this brand, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should let them know that you can't partake in that deal no more. Cool. I'm not gonna be like, hey yo, Ryan, can you go handle that for me? After I already committed, I'll be the one to say, oh, I apologize. I didn't know this is gonna conflict with anything. I have to back out. As a man, I would have said that completely.
And week of a tournament, week of an event, to pivot that fast is already, it's kind of like a stressful.
It's fair.
It's pretty stressful, and like it happens. It's part of the game. But having to replace 3 players, and let's be real, like some of these guys are very popular. Like having to replace Cam, you got to find someone who's gonna bring as much like demand. Day and Burke, those guys are, fan favorites. And so not only do you have to replace players, you can't just like replace them with local guys. You have to go find like people who are going to be just as good for the series. So I'm waiting. I don't hear anything back. And at this point, I send the itinerary to the players to see if I can fish anything. And I don't hear back. The next day comes. I don't hear anything. And for me,
well, then, do you guys think that AK should have reached out to the players and said, "Hey, I heard you guys aren't able to come. Like, is this true? Yay or nay?" Instead of just wait. I think more so it's on the players. Like more of the blame is on the players for sure. But also maybe AK could have said, "Hey, yo, are y'all in this or not?" Instead of just waiting around. You feel what I'm saying? But either way, the players I think are in the wrong situation.
Yeah, at this point, I started feeling a little like,
it looks crazy,
like disrespected, because I'm like, if this random third party hadn't given me the heads up, I'd be going about my week. Today's Friday. Like, who knows? We may have gotten to Friday, and nobody would have said anything besides maybe like tonight or tomorrow morning. Like, oh, sorry, like we're not coming, and that possibility. That's like what really upset me. So eventually, I got a hold of the players, and they said we're trying to figure it out. And I don't hold anything back against the players. These guys, they want to be here, and it's always nothing but love. I think they're trying to figure out between the next chapter and themselves on like what's going on. And I was told that um, somebody from the next chapter was gonna call me to tell me what's going on. So like the players, I guess we're under the understanding too. So we're waiting and waiting. And it was positioned in a way where like it may happen and it might not. We're working on it. So I'm like, okay. So Wednesday comes, still nothing. And at this point I like start hitting up other players. Like I don't wanna find myself in a situation where it's last minute and I can't find anybody. So I get ahead of it, and eventually Wednesday night, the players texted me like, "Hey, like we're still waiting. We haven't heard anything back." And finally Thursday morning,
The players who?
I
The
just
players who?
delivered.
You talking about the 3 players from TNC?
Yeah, Cam,
Okay.
Cam, Burke, and Day Day.
Okay.
Um, so the next day, I just took the liberty. Thursday morning, I took the liberty to just call Scotty, and as you guys know, Scotty used to work at Ballislife. We've had a long relationship, and we had our relationship was a good one when he was working on Ballislife. I think we still have respect for each other now, even though obviously he does his own thing. I do mine, and there's differences sometimes, but it's definitely have respect for what he does and what he's done. So yeah, I asked Scotty, and already Scotty was on the defense because by then a lot of the story posts had gone up, and I was like, look, I just want clarity. Are these players coming or are they not? And it was basically said that like they're not coming.
But that shouldn't have been.
It's up to the player.
That shouldn't have been exactly. That shouldn't have been Sky's responsibility to micromanage the players like that in terms of saying, "Hey, you need to tell X, Y, and Z." They should already know. Oh, I got to tell it because I already committed. So now now that I'm backing out, I have to let them know this. And my camera's frozen. I understand that.
But if they kind of like it was all said in a way where like it's their choice, but if they go, then like they break their contract with the next chapter, and like whatever that means. So it's clear I'm never gonna put the players in a situation where like they should mess up something long term. So that was then that call, and I think again I was upset that I had to take somebody who wasn't the players, who wasn't anyone from the next chapter, had found out and like was honorable enough to give me the heads up and tell me, and then eventually I had to like take the liberty to like call. And again, like my mind can't help to go to places like where was this like were they trying to sabotage it? Because if day of, there's no way you can find players, and 3 players missing, and in a 1v1 tournament with 8 players, you can't even have the tournament. There's a lot, purchase flights, Airbnbs, gym, staff, camera guys, refs. I mean, there's so much that goes into it.
There.
Now, I will give credit. Scotty did agree to refund for the flight, so I definitely want to make sure I say that because I'm not.
I didn't know that.
Here, but yeah, that's what happened, and I think going through this situation, it was obviously very upsetting. It was stressful, and we all jumped to conclusions, and you don't know the intentions. It could have been bad. It could have been neutral. It could have been good. But I just know my experience, and that was my experience.
I want to ask you this question. I want to try to put myself in you and Scotty's shoes. If, let's say, 3 BIL players were headed to next chapter for a C or for a one-on-one tournament, let's flip it. And let's say you call the 3 BIL players and you say, well, if you guys go here, this may not happen at Ballislife anymore. Isn't that and this is me asking, is it more up to the platform to call you and tell you, hey, I just told the players that if this happens, they can't come to TNC anymore, so they're about to make a decision? Or is it up to the players to say, yo, AK, I'm not going over there, or I am going over there? You feel what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I think if in that case, if I was in charge, I would definitely make it so like I would give them the players like here you can't go to that, and like it would be up to them to tell wherever event they're going
Exactly. I think that makes the most sense.
to. But if we came to an understanding that like the players wanted me to talk to them on their behalf and we agreed to that, then I would. I'm not sure if that's what happened or not, but that was kind of like alluded to. But it would be if I told the players they can't go to an event, then like it's kind of on them to tell the event or organizer.
Agreed.
And I will say this, and this is just me talking as to what I would do, because I'm not in Burke, Day-Day's, or Cam position, so I don't know what they're thinking. But if I were making a decision, I would let you know. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just telling you what I would do. I'm not saying those guys are wrong with what they did at all. All I'm saying is I would tell you, yo, AK, I'm not coming to the event anymore.
It's really not that hard to do, though. Like, I guess maybe you don't want to burn the bridge or the relationship, but I think just telling them, it's actually more of a respect thing. Like, you actually might earn more respect in that way. You know what I mean?
That's what I wouldn't let nobody else speak for me. That's what
I hear that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear that. And
Oh, and
we don't know.
before you go, please explain to the people who you are really quickly.
Oh, I'm a lot of people call me AK. You probably heard people say it in the videos to like talking to somebody in the background. I'm one of the co-founders of Ballislife. I do a lot of our YouTube basketball series nowadays. I've made a lot of the Ballislife mixtapes, some of the classics. Been with Ballislife since day one. A fan favorite you probably know is King of the Court series. That was kind of my baby, and yeah, that's who I am.
Yeah. So what were you saying, brother?
Oh, I was saying we don't, I don't really know exactly what was going on behind the scenes and how those conversations went. So, I can't really. I'm not gonna make assumptions, and I'm not gonna like put words in anybody's mouth.
Now, I will say this.
Fair.
If somebody is locked into an event and they back out, the person that is doing the event deserves a call. That's just bottom line. That's just facts. I don't give a fuck who it's from, but the person that is running the event does deserve a call. I'm gonna definitely say that. I'm gonna give you that for sure. So however that unfolded is, I don't know verbatim how it went. You're just telling your side of the story. I know their side of the story. I know the player side of the story. So at the end of the day, did you find replacements?
I found replacements. I'm pretty happy with where we've ended up. I think, man, I was really hoping if I had found out the day of, confirmation the day of, I may have been able to lock in one or two guys I was really hoping for, but we ended up in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm ready to reveal it yet. At this point, I just don't want to jinx it. But we're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say about that event or about that situation that occurred?
I want to say, I think, and maybe this could help us jump into the next discussion, is like if players were already committed and like kind of like putting them in a position where like they have to like pick and choose like us or them. I think I disagree with that approach.
Why?
Because if it was this close to an event, in a community where we all know each other, we all use the same players. We're all we're all friends. We may not all be like close, but like I'm super close to Nas. There's guys that you're super close to that I'm super close to. It's just such a small community, and like I think this past year, this community has really benefited from everybody kind of letting the barriers down and getting along.
Mm-hmm.
And I think especially like this late into this close to a tournament, I feel like there was a power move element to it.
Okay. In terms of what?
I'm just trying to figure out if like AK is saying a lot right now. I'm trying to digest it, but I'm hearing the same thing. Let me know if I'm tripping.
Like the power move, you feel what I'm saying? You got to break that down for me. And for the people.
Yeah, power move. Yeah, as far as like, the power you have over the players, and in this situation, and kind of like maybe if you're like, hey, we don't mess with Ballislife, we don't want you got it, like, and you own up to it, like it is what it is, but kind of like putting it in a situation where like it's your choice, but if you go, we won't work with you anymore. I feel like that, I don't know. Like, I understand it's a business, and like, let me say this first of all. The next chapter, currently the best iteration of YouTube basketball. And, they obviously know what they're doing. They know how to run their business. And if that's how they want to run their business, like, great, more power to them. And if they don't want to mess with Ballislife and don't want to let their players go on other platforms, just say like, we don't fuck with those other platforms. And we don't want you going there. But I think saying it in a way where like, it's up to you, it's your choice. It's a little, I don't want to throw this word around too loosely because it's a little charged word, and like it's just because I can't think of a better word to use right now, but it's a little bit manipulative.
So I'm gonna say this. It's tough. It's like a double-edged sword. If you tell somebody, hey, you can go get that bag, but just know that you can no longer get a bag with us, it sucks because you're like, damn, I really like, let's say I'm going for Ballislife or TNC. I'm like, damn, I really like TNC, but Ballislife's throwing me a little quick bag right here. But then do I go get that and then risk like not be able to go back on TNC ever again? It does put you in a position. But at the end of the day, though, life is about decisions. Life is about decisions you make, good or bad. Look at the wrong camera. Life is about decisions you make, good or bad. So regardless of the decision, that's what life is based on. So like you're gonna have to make a decision sooner or later down the line, whether it's like what grocery store do I go to? It's like everything holds value. So I feel as if the player is making a decision, that's life. If a person wants to run a business a certain way, then said player has to either get in line with that business or do their own thing. They have the complete creative control on their own to say if I want to stay or go. People making it seem like Scotty is like holding people hostage and you cannot fucking leave. They're saying, we'd love to have you, but if you go work with X, Y, and Z, we won't have you back. And that's the way he wants to run his business. So I feel like if Ballislife said the same thing, I could knock Ballislife for that. That's the way they want to run their business. I'm a business owner. I run my business a certain way, different than what other YouTubers run their business. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't think it's manipulative. I think it's just a way they want to run their business, just to say, hey, if we're building up said player, we'd rather him just stay on the platform rather than go elsewhere. But I did hear that Scotty said that players could go elsewhere just as long as they got the video for their own personal channel to help their own personal growth and on their content creation side, which also makes sense too. So like we just saw Day Day get a video that he played elsewhere. We've seen I'm trying to think, J. Lou do it. Like we see multiple people do this, so it's not like a new thing. So like, yeah.
Oh, so okay, you think the next chapter is manipulating their players by strong arming them? basically.
Again, manipulative is a very charged word. I only use that because I couldn't think of a better word. But I think, leaving it in the position, rep, structuring it that way and presenting it that way, it's, there's better ways to go about it. Just say, like, we don't fuck with Ballislife. It's fine. I respect it. We're in at the end of the day, we are in competition together. We're in America. Capitalism exists, and that's just the nature of the game. It's fine.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna be totally honest with you, AK. I really feel like y'all don't fuck with each other. Let's just keep it a bit like, all right, so let's just put everything on the table. BIL don't mess with TNC. TNC don't mess with BIL. We could just keep it 100, bro. We could keep it 100.
That's not that's a factual statement. By this point, it's a fact.
I would not say that's true. I think I've gone out of my way this past year to bring down the barriers, and we've had conversations behind the scenes, and they've been good conversations. They've been cordial and in a very respectful way. We have a history, we have a past. We're not going to be friends, but I have respect for what you do. I've celebrated when players that have, been discovered by Ballislife end up on the next chapter. I've continuously recommended players to appear on the next chapter. And I really genuinely do think this community is at its best when we all work together, when we come together, and everybody.
So AK is basically saying the community is best when inclusivity happens. That's tough because in order for us to prove that theory, it would have to happen. For now, it's just assumption. When you bring everybody together, it may or may not work. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we've seen that in the past with certain things in America, and it's like it doesn't always work. It essentially be like, I can't give a boxing or even the UFC comparison because it's just too many freaking underlying factors with that. But I don't know if inclusivity is always the best, but if you give it a shot and it works, it could be the most genius thing ever. We just don't know until we try it, but these guys aren't going to try it.
And everybody just kind of just treats it as we all have one common goal, which is create a space where we want to provide a place for players to play basketball
for you guys
and make money and a living from YouTube basketball, now go overseas. And I think it's a lot easier to build that space when there's multiple platforms than when there's just one.
But EuroLeague and the NBA, they can share players, because if a player's on the NBA, they can go play EuroLeague or whatever the case may be. Or if a EuroLeague guy gets to the NBA, they can do that. But it's not really inclusivity where they're you're still under contract. You can't go play EuroLeague and NBA at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
So I want to ask you this question because I've been watching YouTube basketball before I was on YouTube basketball. I've been watching basketball since y'all had East Coast, West Coast. So
I think East Coast was, I'm specifically because I've talked to people about this, was exclusive.
Only question to that would be, y'all want integration, but I want to ask you specifically, were any of the East Coast guys allowed to go anywhere else when they were playing for y'all?
Oh yeah. The only place we didn't allow East Coast. The only time Ballislife guys were not allowed to go somewhere was when the breakup first happened, and we were all hurt. Both sides were hurt, and in the state of hurt, we are all human beings. Yeah, we said that's the only place you can't go. Is at the time it was the Wild Hunt.
Which technically, I see what AK is saying. They had a personal vendetta, but that does mean you're exclusive to an extent. Because if not, because you said they can go play elsewhere except for this place. So exclusive with like a addendum on the contract, which could be fair because they probably really didn't want them to go to Wild Hunt, which I can hear his side of that. But there would still be some exclusivity to that though.
Other than that, you're free to collaborate with everyone.
Why not the Wild Hunt? Wasn't that Slim at the time?
Yeah, Slim and Scotty.
Oh man, y'all okay. I'm about to break you down.
So now when Scotty does it, it's a problem. I'm genuinely trying to figure out
what.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be honest. Like there was a time where when Ballislife and Scotty, we ended our relationship. It was very painful. It was nobody won in that situation, and it was very unfortunate. And it was I don't want to say necessary, but like it had just come down to that. Where like, there was we were going our separate ways, and yeah, you have to look at it as like a partnership ending, and just like any relationship that ends, there's people get hurt and people hold grudges and
bad blood. Yes.
Yeah, for a little bit, we definitely said there's only one place you can't go. And that's where it was.
So was that during the time when Slim made that video? He made a video addressing why he left East Coast?
Yeah, I was right then. Yeah.
Okay. So now my next question would be
I want to say, man, BL's doing a great job of delegating these questions in this interview, bro. Hats off to you, brother.
Because I feel like there's a power struggle of players. Like I want this
Is
player.
there?
Yeah, he wants this player. He wants that player. So I want to ask you directly, like, since East Coast, West Coast, how many players, well, not how many players, what players have, like, BIL developed? Since like,
East Coast, West Coast.
Since East Coast. It's like since the one-on-one scene has, like, been, like, a thing. Like, how many players have, what players have BIL developed?
Like discovered and then
Yes.
Come on, AK. You hear the question, brother. Come on now. Come on. You hear the question.
appeared nowhere before.
Yeah.
I would say a handful. I think
Name them.
after the East and West Coast squads kind of ended, we took this approach of like we don't want to like sign players anymore. We want to use our platform to kind of like create use it as a platform to like amplify players and put on great events.
Okay. Fair.
Feature many players from the community. I think while we didn't discover Nesco, we played a big hand. While we didn't
Nesco was originally June's League, right?
discover Nas, we definitely
Nas was Wild Hunt.
with some of the Nesquik stuff and the Ballislife off the dribble thing. He was able to kind of achieve that. Well, we helped him on his path to becoming, the number one 1v1 player.
Yeah.
Trey Croft.
Okay.
Ray Jean.
Okay.
Bird.
Yeah.
I mean, Vern. He appeared on Ballislife many times.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Vern wasn't Street Stars or June's League? Am I tripping? Correct me if I don't know. I honestly don't know where Vern arrived from. I do know he arrived though.
Now, if you're asking this question,
Or derived from.
compare it to like
That's what I'm saying.
how many came?
Here's my only thing, and like I feel like the power struggle and the struggle with TNC specifically is that right is like okay. Nas was founded. I'm just keeping it 100 with you, bro. I don't.
Yeah, Nas was founded by Scotty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Nas, how can I say this? Nas, Rob, Kel was on the scene because he played School before. A lot of these guys, Moon, Isote, shit. When Frigga, when they collab with Frigga brought all his guys like Scar, Cam, J-Lu, etc., etc. And I just feel like their feeling right now is that they're being oversaturated. To that you say what?
I hear that concern. That's always a fear as a creator. So, I hear that concern.
It's the toughest part because you want to make the most amount of money, but like when you're consistently in front of eyes, it could be a good and a bad thing. If you're winning, it could be good, but if you're winning and you're losing a lot too, it could be bad for your brand. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's really played out that way necessarily. A, B, I think by that same token, you look at the biggest event they just did, and you know, like who are all the guys they used? Zay, Nesco, Scoob. You know, Nas can go both ways, but
Hey, yo.
I mean, we never heard us off the dribble or June's League or whomever say like, "Hey, those are our guys." We all celebrated, and I get it. Now, guys like, there's guys who've only appeared on the next chapter, who aren't around anymore, who didn't appear anywhere else. There's guys.
I think the TNC pay-per-view, though, is going to be the only place where you might be able to find guys that aren't TNC exclusive still touch the pay-per-view, because I think that's more of a collective. But when it comes to cities, seasons, things of that nature, I don't know if it makes sense to have non-TNC players. Hopefully you catch my drift what I'm saying, because he brought up Zay, Scoob, and Esco. But it's like, I think TNC02 is like the grand platform where you can go get a big payday. Both sides can eat off that. You know what I mean?
Who appeared on the next chapter or Friga Fam and have appeared many times on all the platforms, and they're still like very relevant. So I don't think it's really played out that way. I think I understand where the fear comes from, but I don't think it's played out that way.
Bro, to be honest with you, I think the way Nas has gone about his thing, like the way Nas has developed his own channel. I know you guys have had a big help in that as well, bigging him up. But I think him also having his own channel helps him a lot. And I feel like
I agree. Having your own platform in this space helps you a lot, because you can grow your brand at a rapid rate by yourself and not have to wait for a Ballislife, OTD, a June's League, a TNC to call you to help grow your platform. You feel what I'm saying? You can do all the stuff in between, so that when that call happens, it even it expands your platform and intensifies it, magnifies it, grows it while you're already working on it. You feel what I'm saying? Then you'll be more consistent. Then you'll be more consistent that way.
players having their own channel can help them a lot in terms of leveraging wherever they can go. To that, you say what?
Yeah, I mean, look, when Nas says I'm the motherfucking blueprint, it's not just in 1v1, but the guy, I mean, Nas and I talk, you know, multiple times a day. He's full of ideas. He's very just motivated, and not just in basketball, but in everything.
Nas is a boss.
Many steps ahead, and you know he's kind of got that, like, I understand I'm not gonna be able to play basketball forever, and he uses the same motivation he has for basketball towards all other aspects. So yeah, I mean, Nas has done a great job, great example to point to of like a path to follow, but you know, not everybody is enough.
Scoob as well. Scoob.
Yeah. Bro, can I? What happened with you and Scotty, bro? What happened with BIL and Scotty? Like, cause it seems like there is. I'm sorry, AK. Listen, man. I went to college for sports broadcasting, and one of my classes was body language, bro. I'm sorry.
Body language. Okay.
Yeah, I could.
So what is my body language telling you?
I could tell with you and Scotty, man.
Yeah.
So what happened?
It was, yeah.
What happened?
Basically, he's saying AK body language is telling him that he's either A, capping, or B, nervous, or C, he's just fidgety because, like, he doesn't want to say the wrong thing.
You know, I'm going to tell you straight up. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I'll say this. When Austin brought on Scotty to, like, at the end of that, what happened to the East Coast Squad video, and like the reason Scotty gave, I'll just say that revisionist history in a nice way. I think Scotty and myself, Scotty had been with Ballislife for years, you know, and like it was, you know, we would talk.
I will say this: if Scotty never left Ballislife, bro, Ballislife would be I mean, bruh, you see what TNC is. What he pretty much brought that up by himself and then brought on Freak and stuff like that. But like, if Scotty had stayed with Ballislife and that thing worked out,
multiple times a day.
Could you
and,
imagine?
he was very talented, very motivated, very ambitious. And when you have someone like that, I think he had things. He wanted things to be his way. But when you're part of a team, when you're part of an organization like Ballislife, there's you gotta work within a team, and there was always like push and pull, and eventually led to some very unfortunate events that we felt betrayed by. And
I wish he would just say it though. Like, what events? Just let it all in the air so that everybody can just move on about their day. Or Scotty come say something.
Our separate ways. But we're grateful for the East Coast squad. We're grateful for all he did. And, like, to this day, East Coast squad is still the most successful YouTube basketball entity.
Yeah.
So
as a group, for sure. For sure.
Definitely got to, like, give respect where it's due, give credit where it's due. But as far as, like, exactly what happened, I don't know if I'm really willing to talk about that, but maybe you'll hear it by somebody else from Ballislife another day.
No, but I mean, but why else come on though if you don't? You feel what I'm saying? Like, if him or Scotty come on, like we expect to hear everything. You know what I'm saying?
Because this is just so much of a staple in the community, AK, bro. I don't work with y'all. I don't work with Scotty I don't work with y'all a few times. I don't work with Scotty. You know what I'm saying? I've been working with Scotty for the last 3 years. 2 years, I mean. So it's like I can see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can see it. And it's very evident. I think it's very evident to the point where it gets petty on both sides.
Agreed.
Yeah. Look, Scotty.
For sure. Agree 100%.
One of his strengths is he always has a chip on his shoulder. And, I think that also leads to, like, he's always going to have that, like, thing where, like, in the back of his mind, it's always fuck Ballislife. And, it is what it is. I respect it. If it motivates him, it motivates him.
So let me ask you this question. Let's say hypothetically, all the TNC guys that were originally on TNC and the guys that they found are go and be bought into TNC and exclusive to TNC, can Ballislife develop more players for their roster to where they didn't even have to use anybody on TNC's roster at all?
Yeah, I mean, if that's what we have to do, then, like, whenever there's a void, it something always comes in and fills that void.
Mm-hmm.
It's just as simple as that.
Yeah. And
I think, again, I don't think exclusivity is it's their business. It's from a business standpoint, if that's what makes the most sense for their business, great. I don't think exclusivity is the best for the players.
Yeah.
I think a few players win from exclusivity, but I think a lot of them get swept under the rug, or they don't see. I think they kind of like are sold on this like dream and promise of like, ooh, like if I just get there, and like some of them may never get there. And you can say that's on the players, but again, like why have that when they're not like working?
It's like NBA players though. Like NBA players have to have some sense of delusion to make it to the highest level. You gotta be some type of crazy to believe in yourself. You know what I mean?
And they're 3 weeks out of the month, maybe more. Why can't they just like use a couple of those days to go make some money somewhere else? Are they allowed to go get a 9-to-5 job, like a part-time job somewhere else?
You talking about if they're
just like a regular job?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, so like it's not the
and there's
most
nothing wrong with that.
Advocating for the players, but from a business standpoint, like if it makes sense for the business, great, it makes sense for the business. And I think if we just like say it that way, great. But if we're trying to build a space where, again, we want as many people as possible to make a living and earning in YouTube basketball, I don't think many players benefit from that. I think it'll be top heavy.
So what do you think inclusivity does?
I think inclusivity, again, it really provides for those like a Nas. Look, I think Nas is set. There's some guys who are like, it doesn't matter. But inclusivity, you go from you've been to Balls Life events, and well, you never did off the dribble, but a lot of times what happens is guys come California to Balls Life event. We shoot for 3 days, and then they go to off the dribble because we're both from the same area, and in a span of like a week and a couple of days, they go home making a lot of money, very respectable amount of money. And then, they may go to June's League, they may go to TNC.
But then it's like, if you're overly playing, does it still give the same wow factor to those watching? I'm asking you guys generally. I'm honestly asking, does it give the same wow factor to you guys if you see him play more and more and more and more, or less and less and less with more quality? Because sometimes it's quality over quantity. In some spaces, it's quantity over quality. I don't, depending on the person, but I think quality is always over quantity, in my personal opinion.
And a lot of these guys are appearing pretty consistently on all these platforms. And I think, that's kind of like the cycle as the space grows and as the space gets more and more structured, and more and more money flows into the space, more and more opportunities get dispersed. And that's kind of what happens with inclusivity. And I believe, again, Next Chapter can achieve what they want to accomplish within the inclusivity structure.
What do you think? What do you think are some of the cons?
What are the cons?
Because I
don't know if I'm just being biased, because I can't really think of a con right now.
If a player, all right, so a player may come on your platform and play well that week, and then he takes, and I'm not saying he shouldn't, whatever he wants to do, the player, he's a grown man. I've been saying this. AK, I also been saying this a lot too, bro. We dealing with grown-ass men.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, either, to me, it's two decisions. You could go work with TNC and then, as a result, also work on your platform, because TNC will help you with your platform. I've seen them literally fly to a Street Stars event and film J-Lu and Cam's one-on-one. So they will help you with your platform. You can either take that route, or you can take the BIL, OTD route, June's League route, and just go collect you, because some hoopers just want to be hoopers. Some hoopers just want to
be hoopers. That's just the reality.
But listen. I feel like some of the cons are, if his ass get belted, come on, AK, you ain't calling him back. If he gets belted, go ahead.
Two things. I think, who was it? ISO Tay. He started off taking a lot of L's, and he's still around. A lot of guys taking a lot of L's. They've come back.
I'm not sure if it's a lot of L's. It's how you take the L. If you get 30 to 5, 30 to 10, 30 to 8, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Shit, Freaky did get 30 to 7 though, but it's his own platform.
I think if your game is exciting, people see it and people say bring so and so back. I mean,
that's true.
It's
That's
really
true. That's
easy
true.
to
That's true.
pass the eye test. Like, you can clearly see it when, like, okay, like, this guy lost, but he's sick. Like, he brings the energy. He's got his game. It's like flashy game. He's got moves. He's got a bag. He's got counters, and it's really easy to spot those. And usually guys get multiple opportunities. The guys who didn't get a call back, that was probably like they got their one shot, and they were just, space was just not meant for them. And then on the case of inclusivity, like, again, Next Chapter really benefited from inclusivity in their most recent event, in the season 2, chapter 2, season 1, and the pay-per-view.
Go ahead, elaborate.
Nesco, Scoob, Zay,
Burn.
those guys made the pay-per-view.
I feel like
Scoob, Nas.
My only rebuttal to that is Zay did he had a one-on-one on BIL. I'm gonna give you that. He had a one-on-one on BIL against Nas and OTD. So I completely agree with that. Inclusivity with those three guys for sure. So I mean, to be honest with you, bro, the players got to choose.
The players got to choose. All right, I can mess with that.
I've been saying that. That was my argument last night.
I think it's the only way to do it.
What route do you want to take? And to me, neither route is wrong. Do you want to invest in yourself and invest in a potential, like, if you want to go and I do want to say this as well. To me, if you go stupid in 1-1-on-1 and then I don't see you again until next month, I do think, that's my personal belief. This is nobody telling me this. This is from what I've seen. This is my personal belief. Your stock will rise.
Because then you essentially become like a myth. Like, oh man, we gotta catch him when he pops. Like, we gotta watch him now because we don't know next time we're gonna see him. You know what I mean?
Higher because of the demand for you will be higher. But if I see you Monday on one platform, Wednesday on another.
I'll give you a good example. I keep cutting him off. I know. It's like music. If an artist drops a song every single day, it gets like, all right, nigga, gosh, damn. But like you get like certain artists that drop once or twice a year, once every other year, once a year. You feel me? But you like, ooh, when he dropped though, yeah. You feel me? Or when he dropped every 5 to 6 months, yeah. When he dropped though, yeah. But when it's every month, every other month, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like, damn, nigga, damn. It's like a jab. It's just hitting you. It's like, oh shit. Can't recover. Yeah, okay, I can't see where the punch coming from by then. I can't even cut my punches. I haven't until I got hit. You know what I mean?
The one. Thursday on another one. I spin a block next week, and I see you on the one you was on Monday. I'm seeing you too much, AK. I'm seeing you too much.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
So it's just like, yeah.
Okay. That's if there's a con, you can say there's a con, but I think just nature of the game right now.
I feel you.
And some guys, yeah. I think if you wanna run your business on the exclusivity model, great. I think just kind of own up to it instead of like saying it's up to the players and it's their decision. It's like, no, bro, like just say you can't. They can't. I know they're grown men, but I don't know. That's just like it's a power move. It's just a power move.
Why do you think it's such a power move? These listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. These dudes,
because like you know what they're gonna say. It's like, like most of this. I mean, these guys, they have families. They're gonna pick something where like, okay, I know on the next chapter I'm gonna appear for the next. I don't know how long that contract's for. I don't know for the duration of this contract, I'm gonna get this amount, and when you're like, okay, well, you can go to this Ballislife event, but if you do, you're gonna lose out on this. But hey, it's your choice. It's like I'll just say like, you're under contract. You're not allowed to go. That's it.
That's the point.
I don't believe there's contracts there though. You believe there's contracts there?
I believe so.
AK, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm with the grown men route. I'm with the listen. At the end of the day,
you
bro,
can never go wrong with the grown men route.
Because but you're looking at somebody that had 1-1-on-1 and built his platform based off 1-1-on-1. So like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like I always was about.
Who are you referring to, by the way?
Huh?
Who are you referring to, by the way, with the 1-1v1?
Cash.
Oh.
I had 1-1-on-1 with Cash, and I built my entire platform based off 1-1-on-1.
Yeah.
So like, what I'm saying
is fact. The 1v1, then he got to the reaction. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I have the power to tell you yes or no. I don't give a fuck what you dangling over my head, whether it's Ballislife, OTD, or Next Chapter. I could tell you no. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, to me, the player has the power. And I feel like they don't understand how much power they have by simply creating their own platform and posting consistently on their platform. Cam So Smooth, if he was consistently posting, he would get 60,000 views easily if he just posted once a week.
Burke, the same. Day-Day's getting there now. I think Day-Day got over 3K subs. Like, come on.
Week. They just posted a one-on-one with Pat So Wavy is gonna hit 50 to 60,000 views. You mean to tell me that's about $600 in your pocket? If you do that once
Burke need to go ahead and do his too, man. Go post your shit, man.
a week, if you do that once a week, or twice a week, right? Where you're posting one video here, 2 videos there. 1, you build a fan base. 2, you're building your platform, like I just said. And also,
Yes, because 4 videos a month is really doable. You can either do 4 videos in 1 week and be good for that month. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you could literally do that.
you ain't gotta be outside as much, taking matchups you really don't want to take, but you want to go over there and get this cheese real quick. AK, you cannot tell me there's not been situations where a player really didn't want that matchup, but they took that matchup because they wanted cheese. I'm a battle rap fan. I've seen battle rappers do that where they don't really want that matchup, but they take it because the cheese is there.
And that's not controlling your narrative. Like that hurts the most. And that's why having your own platform is huge.
No, I mean, look, I do agree. I think the players don't realize how much power they have. And yeah, by that same token, the players, if all 3 of those players decided that, like, to kind of band together and say, I'm not just saying this to my event, but like the players have a lot of power than they think. So
The players,
the players make the platforms too. So yes, I agree, AK.
The platforms, we need the players just as much as they need us. And if you all decide that, like, you're doing something, we're gonna cave. It is what it is. And like, that's why my approach is very advocating for the players, and that's worked for me. And hey, to each their own. But the players have a lot of power, and we need them just as much as they need us.
So I will say, this is really simple to me. AK is exclusivity versus inclusivity. You're on the inclusivity side. They're on the exclusivity side, and whatever happens within the next 2 years, next 3 years, whatever, it is what it is. Now I'm telling you for them. I'm telling you for them. They exclusive. They're trying to be exclusive. So if I gotta tell you it, I'm gonna tell you it. They trying to be exclusive, AK.
Yeah, I hear. Look, we're having this conversation not because I really care about the exclusivity. We're just, having a discussion at this point. I was put in a position where I was gonna go about my week thinking 8 guys are coming tomorrow and only 5 were gonna arrive, and that's fucked up.
Yeah, that'd have been pretty shitty.
I think, to be honest with you, I really don't. I think you have a great point there, and I'm not even going to argue with you on that point, because communication is deserved on that end. I don't care how you feel about that person. But at the end of the day, if somebody is throwing an event and 3 players committed and 3 players back out, the person that is throwing at the event deserves, I'm not coming anymore, bro.
Yep.
From them.
Yep.
Tell
me as a man. Just tell me.
The person said that he was going to call. He need a call. I'm always keeping her on that point. Facts. So, I mean, it is what it is, AK. Any last words for the people, man? We've been on here 45 minutes, man.
Damn, that went by fast.
Yeah.
I could do this all day. If you have anything else to talk about, we can talk about it, bro. Because I know you're not going to be on here for a long time. This is probably like a one-time
My hair looks
thing
insane.
And I also wanted to make sure you got all your viewpoints out, and I'm able to speak on all the TNC's viewpoints. You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of like,
yeah.
You feel me? So
I hear that. I think I don't know if there's any more, at least for now, I want to say about like Ballislife for TNC situation. I think I can speak more about the whole YouTube basketball and like why Ballislife got into YouTube basketball and why we continue. I think, well, in order to speak on that, I have to give a little history about Ballislife, because some people are very in tune with Ballislife and like kind of like the type of company or content we used to put out, and a lot of people who just know us from YouTube basketball. But social platform, Matt Rodriguez, who's like he wanted to kind of, being a content creator wasn't a thing then. So that's how Ballislife was born. So we started going to high school.
I think if y'all want to watch the rest of that, if he's gonna talk about that, you guys can go on BLS's thing. I was here to more so just like see what I agree, disagree with. AK made some solid points for sure, but also too, I think there's a lot of beating around the bush in this conversation. You know, when the he had the ability to just draw the line, and like I said, who gives a damn if he drew the line? You know what I'm saying? Like that's respectable. You feel me? But I think just coming out here to beat around the bush made no sense. But he did make some valid points in my opinion. So let me see.
Derrick Rose's and that class. As we grew and the social platforms and YouTube started coming along, like we were the first basketball channel, first basketball account that wasn't the NBA on all these platforms. We're just working. Some guys were just like working part-time jobs and 20,000, 20 different things. I have to take some meanings out there, but really like my passion is YouTube basketball. So if we're talking strictly,
it is what it is, bro. But I think a lot of things are in store within the next, like I said, and that's just me being totally transparent with you. Line drawn in the sand now, and I think it's on the floor now. I think there's a line drawn in the sand now that needed to be drawn, and that's just me being totally transparent with you. So whatever happens next is up to y'all, up to TNC, up to the players, up to OTD, what they want to do. That's literally what it is now, AK. Because now it's in the sand.
yeah. Hey, look, competition brings the best out of people.
Yep.
So
best or the worst.
Hey, whatever it is.
Oh man,
you're ready.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't expecting this tonight, man. I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't expecting this, man.
This is legendary,
I wasn't
B.
expecting the text. I wasn't expecting the hit up, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Then we got Matt in here, OTD in here going crazy the whole time we talking. I'm trying to...
See, I made it a point not to. I'm just on Discord. I'm not watching the live right now. I don't even want to be distracted.
Man, I'm looking like, oh my God, they're going stupid here. But bro, first of all, I appreciate you stopping by. First of all, I appreciate you speaking your piece and also answering all the questions I asked you. That's number one. So
fair.
Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
Hey man, appreciate y'all watching, bro. Shout out to B. Ellis, dude. He's doing this freaking thing, bro. Phenomenal way to have and host this conversation, bro, in the cordial meeting, bro. B. Ellis, like I said, man, hats off to you. BIL, hats off to you guys too, man. Let's continue to push the sport forward with whichever way that is. Let's continue to push it forward, fellas. So I know.